Josh Rubin from eastwesthealing.com. I want to talk about the histamine diet and hypothyroidism today and how they correlate. Now, I know a lot of people think it's the food they're eating, but we believe it's the food that they're not eating that's causing the problem. It's not the histamine that's the problem, it's the amount of histamine in your system that's the problem. And if we begin to recognize that everyone that's in a hypothyroid state has high estrogen, or they have the inability to detoxify estrogen. Estrogen inhibits T4 to T3 conversion in the system, as well as waste glucose. So even furthers our issue of becoming hypothyroid. At the same time, our inability to detoxify estrogen in this hypometabolic hypothyroid state, because we're not regulating our blood sugar, stimulates histamine. So estrogen stimulates histamine, and it prevents the clearing of histamine in the system, which causes a histamine intolerance. Now, I know a lot of people think it's an enzyme deficiency. Of course, we always want to blame something or someone else for our issues instead of really looking at what we're doing. And we always say the root of the issue are how our cells are breathing. Are they producing enough energy so we can regulate life and regulate our physiology and create harmony within the system? So we know this. It's pretty simple. Estrogen stimulates histamine. It prevents the clearing of histamine. So it's not an amount of histamine in your system. Most people eliminating the foods that they actually need to regulate the system. And if we look at eating fresh quality proteins, right? Like liver, fish, shellfish. You can cut out dairy, don't worry about it. Eggs, different types of fresh meats. Don't ground them. The ground meat, there's an increased amount of lactic acid. Our body has to waste glucose in order to convert that, plus most lactic acid producing bacteria stimulate histamine. Same thing with fermented foods. Same thing from eating foods that have been sitting out. You don't want to eat those. But a lot of the foods that we do need, like fruits and roots, fresh fruits and roots that are ripe, the proteins that I recommended, these are the ones that are going to allow our liver to store glycogen so we can use it to convert thyroid hormone, so we can produce energy at the cell level, at the same time clearing estrogen from the system, down-regulating histamine, and you don't have to be on this restricted diet for the rest of your life. You can eat food and regulate your system, and it really comes down to regulating sugar storage in the liver and producing thyroid hormones so we can produce energy at the cell level always.